So on this channel, I often get some very, very basic questions like, why is our country so wrecked? Why is there so much strife in society? Why does our government not function properly? Why do people vote for incompetent leaders? And what I find is all these questions come from a place of absolute frustration. Then going beyond that, I get one very frequent question very often, especially on my live streams. Looking at all this horribleness, how do I keep sane? As in, how do I keep my head straight and how do I deal with all of this? I mean, I do spend a lot of time consuming news and current affairs, and news, as you must have noticed, is not great for mental health. So, how do I basically handle the whole thing? Well, I have a little bit of a trick which I'm going to share with you. I have spent a lot of time over the last 15 years trying to understand how this whole thing works, which is our democracy, our country, our entire system, and all the building blocks that make the whole thing up. So I spend a lot of time thinking about all of these things. Even things like what is a country, how does this whole thing work, how does democracy actually work, what is a judiciary, what is a bureaucracy, and it actually helps. It legit helps me deal with all the shittiness happening around us, because when you look at everyday news and you start connecting it to these building blocks, everything starts making a lot more sense. So I have decided to do exactly that for you. Welcome to Entire Political Science. This is a video series where I will try to help you understand this society a little bit better and to help you make sense of things around you so that you don't feel so helpless and frustrated all the time. And also, you continue to consume news, but in a healthy way. And in this episode, I am going to start with you. Who are you? Well, you are a citizen. What does that mean? Let's get theory out of the way first. Citizenship is essentially a legal status. It connects you, a single individual, to the state at large. In simple terms, it means officially that you belong somewhere. You become a citizen in a few ways. One, by birth, which is if you are born in India, US, Canada, you automatically become a citizen. Number two, by parentage. If your parents are citizens, that decides your citizenship as well in many countries. And number three, by naturalization. Now, living somewhere long enough or passing some tests can also make you eligible for citizenships. Now, every country has different rules that way. Some countries may, if you buy property, then you get like an express ticket to become a citizen. In some countries like ours, if you live for more than a few days continuously, then you become a citizen. There are different rules for that. But that is all theory. In reality, citizenship is much simpler, and honestly, I can make it a little more relatable for you. Citizenship is basically like a club membership, like a Delhi Gymkhana membership. Each club, which is each country, will offer its unique perks and privileges. Some will offer swimming pool, tennis courts, golf clubs, cheap booze, that sort of a thing. Maybe your club gives you great healthcare like Canada, or maybe there is zero income tax like UAE. But in each of these clubs and countries, there is a catch. Every country will expect something back from you, like loyalty, taxes, and the fact that you need to follow some rules to live here. It's kind of a give and take deal. You pledge your allegiance to the country, and the country promises you rights, protections, and maybe some amazing benefits. But let's be real, you probably find this club membership kind of frustrating. I mean, if you have paid for a club membership and you're not getting the benefits that you deserve, then it becomes frustrating. Maybe your rights are sometimes violated. Maybe the candidate you voted for, it didn't really win. You have passionately supported a candidate, but they don't win. Or maybe the person you absolutely do not like is winning constantly. That is, of course, if you actually live in a democracy. Yeah, if you don't, then sad life. Citizenship, in reality, often feels like you're stuck playing this never ending game that is rigged against you. You're giving loyalty, you're paying your taxes, yet you're constantly disappointed. So, how exactly are you supposed to deal with it? How exactly are you supposed to imbibe this concept of being a citizen? Here's the blunt truth that nobody else will tell you, and only I will tell you, and that is why you are watching this video. Citizenship is fundamentally absurd. Remember Sisyphus? So, Sisyphus is a character in Greek mythology who is cursed to roll a giant rock up a hill only to watch it roll down again for his entire life. Again and again and again. So, being a citizen feels a bit like that. Every election, every campaign, every promise that goes nowhere, it kind of feels meaningless. Meaningless. But let me tell you about a secret weapon. Acknowledging that this whole thing is kind of absurd is what can exactly free you, and that is what will truly make you a citizen. Understanding and accepting this loop allows you to find peace in participating despite the frustrations. Your power lies in finding personal meaning in this absurd process. You can vote, speak up, engage, not because everything will magically fix itself, but because there is some joy, humor, and community in actively participating as a citizen. So, acknowledging the absurdity, the bizarreness of this whole thing kind of helps you treat your citizenship like a strange but important game. If you participate like this, knowing fully that the outcomes might disappoint you, then you are prepared. Then you are prepared for the bizarreness and absurdity. If you roll that rock up a hill and you know that it is going to come back down, then when it's rolling down, you can just sit there, look at it go down, and you can be like, haha, this roll was great, right? You knew it was going to roll down, but you can have some fun watching it go down until you finally trudge back down and then start pushing it up again. Yeah, that's the whole process. It's absurd. I know it is. But you know what is better? You are not the only one doing this. You aren't. There are 1.4 billion of us. So maybe you can enjoy the process if you have some other people to do it with. You can try to connect with other citizens who have understood the absurdity and try to see it the same way. That is what I do all the time, which is I try to find a community. This whole channel is a community, and I try to get citizens who see the absurdity, because that is what citizenship is. It is an absurd game. It's tiring, it's repetitive, and yes, it is frequently very frustrating. But once you recognize what it truly is beyond the theory, once you see it for what it is an ongoing cycle of hopeful efforts and occasional disappointments, then you genuinely become free of it. And that is when you start enjoying it as well. So, here is what you should do next. You should start finding some like minded citizens who see this absurdity like you do. And you can form connections, share your experiences, you can laugh together at the weirdness of this whole thing. The frustrations will go down. In fact, you will find some of those people in the comments below. If you are a person who understands what I'm just saying, maybe you would want to comment below as well, so that you can find community and other people can find you. Before you even realize it, you won't be frustrated anymore. Seriously, you will no longer be pushing up that rock uphill alone. Yeah, you have basically built a community and you are looking at everyone doing it, so you are also doing it. And then when you reach the top, all of you can sit together and laugh at it going down together. Maybe you can even race your rocks down, whose rock goes faster down, and then it becomes like that game, which I explained. A frustrating but amazing, funny little game, which becomes something bigger, something meaningful. So, in theory, citizenship is about your relationship with the state, right? The country that you were born in, or you live in, or you became a citizen of by following all the procedure. But the state and the country is a made up concept. Dun dun dun. No, it is. If you truly understand that fact, then you take away the power of the state to frustrate you. And then that is when you truly become a citizen, like a fully realized citizen. Ultimately, that is where the real magic of citizenship lies. It is realizing that we all belong to this bizarre little club together, which is supposed to give us things, but usually is inefficient for and doesn't really giving us things. But then trying to make the best of what you're already getting, finding joy and friendship amidst all this absurdity. So, hello, dear citizen. This is going to be a long journey. Keep watching Entire Political Science. More episodes coming soon. See you in the next one.